When we think of Whoopi Goldberg, we often remember the iconic roles that made her a household name: the sharp-witted nun in Sister Act, the powerful Oda Mae Brown in Ghost, or the compelling Celie in The Color Purple. She's a woman who has made us laugh, cry, and think in ways we never expected. But behind all her fame, awards, and accolades, there's a story of unimaginable hardship and resilience. Whoopi Goldberg's journey to success was marked not only by triumphs, but also by battles that most people could never imagine. Her life story is a testament to the strength of the human spirit, proving that even the brightest stars are shaped by pain, struggle, and perseverance. A humble beginning in the streets of New York. Whoopi Goldberg, born Karen Elaine Johnson on November 13, 1955 in New York City, came from humble beginnings. Growing up in the Chelsea Elliott housing projects, she faced the harsh realities of poverty. Her father left the family when she was very young, and her mother, Emma, worked tirelessly as a nurse and teacher to provide for Karen and her sibling. There were no luxuries, only the harshness of surviving day to day. Dinner often consisted of just bread and milk, and Karen learned early on that life would not offer any handouts. School was no escape from this reality, as teachers labeled her slow and classmates mocked her struggles. Little did they know, Karen would later discover she had dyslexia, a condition that made reading incredibly difficult. Overcoming adversity, dropping out, and facing hardships. By the age of 16, feeling defeated and misunderstood, Whoopi dropped out of school. The shame and sense of failure lingered, even though the challenges she faced were beyond her control. She struggled to fit in, dealing with both academic and social isolation. But the pain of her youth was far from over. At just 14 years old, Whoopi faced a life-altering experience. She became pregnant. Alone and desperate, she attempted dangerous methods to end the pregnancy, which almost cost her life. When it happened again at 15, she was able to get medical care, but the emotional scars remained. These early experiences of pain and loss forged Whoopi's fierce advocacy for women's rights, and she became determined to ensure no girl would ever face such desperation alone. The dark years, addiction and struggle. As a teenager, Whoopi turned to drugs to cope with the weight of her trauma. She experimented with LSD and heroin, thinking they would offer relief from her pain. But instead, they only brought more suffering. Addiction took a heavy toll on her, and getting clean was no easy task. Whoopi's battle with addiction was long and difficult, filled with setbacks and heartbreak. But through sheer strength and determination, she managed to break free. Her recovery taught her an invaluable lesson: that real healing doesn't come from escape, but from facing your struggles head-on. That lesson would become a guiding force in her life and career, shaping her resilience for the future. A new beginning, finding her path in acting. After dropping out of school and struggling with addiction, Whoopi moved to San Francisco, searching for a way out of her troubled past. She took on various jobs to survive, from waiting tables to laying bricks, even working in a funeral home. Through it all, acting remained her true passion. She began teaching acting classes to make ends meet, and one of her students was a young Courtney Love. Slowly, Whoopi started to find her way back to the stage, and in 1978, she performed in a one-woman show that changed her life. The raw emotion and humor she poured into her performance captivated audiences and earned her a spot on Broadway, where she performed 156 sold-out shows. This was the beginning of Whoopi's rise to stardom, a breakthrough she had worked tirelessly for. Breakthroughs in Hollywood, from Broadway to film, Whoopi's career started to take off in the early 1980s, beginning with a small role in the film Citizen. But it was her one-woman show, which brought her to Broadway in 1983, that truly changed the course of her life. In The Color Purple, 1985, she delivered a performance that would forever mark her as one of Hollywood's greatest talents. Her portrayal of Celie earned her an Academy Award nomination, and she began to feel like she truly belonged in the industry. But even as she stood among the greatest, she still battled with doubts about her place in Hollywood, struggling with the imposter syndrome that haunts many stars. Ghost, the role that changed everything. In 1990, Whoopi Goldberg starred in Ghost as Oda Mae Brown, a role that would make her an international sensation. She won an Academy Award for Best Supporting Actress, becoming only the second Black woman to win the honor. Her performance, which combined humor, heart, and a touch of the supernatural, captivated audiences. The recognition from her peers was overwhelming. But in the quiet of her hotel room that night, Whoopi felt the loneliness of triumph. Fame, she realized, could be isolating, but she pressed on, knowing that the journey was far from over. Sister Act, a global superstar. In 1992, Sister Act became a global hit, making over $200 million worldwide. Whoopi's portrayal of Dolores Van Cartier turned her into a household name. Children sang her songs, and families flocked to theaters. But behind the scenes, the pressure to maintain this level of success was immense. Whoopi smiled for the cameras, but inside, the weight of fame was taking its toll. She had worked hard to achieve this success, but at times she felt lost, struggling with the balance between her public persona and her private self. Still, she pushed forward, determined to keep her career alive. The View, the weight of honesty. In 2007, Whoopi joined The View as a co-host. Known for her bold opinions and fearless honesty, she quickly became one of the show's most beloved personalities. But her candor often sparked controversy. Her comments on political figures and sensitive topics sometimes led to public backlash. While some admired her for her bravery, others accused her of insensitivity. Despite the criticism, Whoopi continued to speak her mind, proving that her strength lay not only in her acting, but in her ability to confront uncomfortable truths. Yet the toll of constant scrutiny was evident, and Whoopi struggled with the weight of her words, knowing they could impact more than just her career. Grief and health battles. In 2010, Whoopi experienced the loss of her mother, Emma, who had been her rock throughout her life. The pain of losing the woman who had sacrificed everything for her was unbearable. Then, in 2015, Whoopi lost her younger brother Clyde, the last person who remembered her as Karen before she became Whoopi. The double loss left her devastated, but she continued to press on, finding strength in the memories of the people she had lost. In 2018 and 2019, Whoopi faced another battle, a life-threatening illness. Pneumonia nearly claimed her life, but her resilience allowed her to survive. The experience changed her perspective on life, making her more grateful for each breath. The legacy of Whoopi Goldberg. Today, at 70, Whoopi Goldberg continues to work, speak out on causes that matter to her, and create new projects, including Sister Act 3. She lives quietly in New Jersey and Sardinia, surrounded by her family. Despite her success and wealth, Whoopi's journey has been anything but easy. She has faced the darkness of addiction, loss, and health battles, but her perseverance has turned her into a symbol of strength. Whoopi's legacy is not just in her films or awards, but in her ability to rise again and again, even when life seemed impossible. She is a reminder that greatness comes from persistence, resilience, and the courage to live life honestly.